Dwarf Sansevieria is a perfect addition to your succulent garden or indoor houseplant collection. Native to southern Kenya and Tanzania, like many Sansevierias, Sansevieria bali is also known by its common name of the dwarf snake plant. It was named after Dr. Peter Aro Bali, who was a Swiss botanist working at the Corendon Museum in Nairobi. He described and named many succulents growing in East Africa and is commemorated in the names of many species. The leaves of Sansevieria bali are laterally compressed, cylindrical in shape and reaching a length of 2 to 4, long and 1/4, thick. The apex is red-brown in color, composed of a spine grooved on the face. There are scale leaves on stalons and the base of rosettes. Dwarf Sansevieria is a flowering plant with pale greenish-white flowers that are showy, reaching up to 1 in length and clustered on a 6 inches long raceme. Each cluster usually contains 2 flowers. The plant is not very tall, reaching up to a maximum height of about 10 inches. It thrives in just about any light, whether it's bright light and full sun or low light to shady areas. It has good tolerance to low light levels, but for optimal growth, give it bright filtered light. Under low light conditions, leaves become darker green in color, etiolated, and longer and thinner than usual. A good indoor spot for the dwarf snake plant would be in front of a north-facing window or in front of a bright sunny window with a bit of protection against the brightest parts of the day. Extreme bright light will cause the leaves to turn yellow at the edges. Dwarf Sansevieria is very drought tolerant and you only need to water them about once a week during the growing season. Allow the top 1 inch of the soil to be completely dry between individual waterings, as overwatering will cause root rot. During winters, water just enough to prevent the soil from drying out entirely. Make sure humidity is nice and low where you decide to place your plant. They don't tolerate moist air well. The pothos plant is considered by many to be a great way to get started caring for houseplants. Since pothos care is easy and undemanding, this lovely plant is an easy way to add some green in your home. Basic pothos care is very easy. These plants enjoy a wide range of environments. They do well in bright, indirect light as well as low light and can be grown in dry soil or in bases of water. They will thrive in nutrient-rich soil, but do almost as well in nutrient-poor soil. Butterfly. Pothos plants make a great addition to your bathroom or office because they can tolerate low light. While pothos likes a wide variety of light conditions, they do not do well in direct sunlight. If your pothos is highly variegated, particularly variegated with white, they may either not grow as well in low light or may lose their variegation if the light is too low. Only the green parts of the leaves can make energy for the plant, so it must be able to get enough light for energy or its growth will slow or the leaves will compensate for the lack of light by becoming more green. Pothos is very popular due to the fact that it can be grown in water or in dry soil. Cuttings can be taken from a mother plant and rooted in water and kept in water as a houseplant. This is convenient for placing a pothos plant in hard-to-reach areas in a jug of water where it can remain untouched as long as water remains in the jug. On the opposite end, pothos can also be started in soil and will tolerate moderate periods of dry soil with little effect to the plant. Oddly enough, cuttings started in one growing medium have a hard time switching to the other. So, a pothos plant started in soil has a hard time thriving if moved to water, and a pothos cutting started in water will not do very well in soil, especially if it has spent a long period of time growing in water. You can fertilize your pothos plant about once every 3 months and this will help the plant grow more quickly, but most people find that their plants grow quick enough even without being fertilized. The spider plant Chlorophytum comosum is considered one of the most adaptable of houseplants and the easiest to grow. This plant can grow in a wide range of conditions and suffers from few problems, other than brown tips. The spider plant is so named because of its spider-like plants, or spiderets, which dangle down from the mother plant like spiders on a web. Available in green or variegated varieties, these spiderets often start out as small white flowers. Caring for spider plants is easy. These tough plants tolerate lots of abuse, making them excellent candidates for newbie gardeners or those without a green thumb. Provide them with well-drained soil and bright, indirect light and they will flourish. Water them well but do not allow the plants to become too soggy, which can lead to root rot. In fact, spider plants prefer to dry out some between waterings. When caring for spider plants, also take into account that they enjoy cooler temperatures. Spider plants can also benefit from occasional pruning, cutting them back to the base. Since spider plants prefer a semi-pot-bound environment, repot them only when they're large, fleshy roots are highly visible and watering is difficult. Spider plants can be easily propagated as well through division of the mother plant or by planting the small spiderets. As daylight increases in spring, spider plants should begin producing flowers, eventually developing into babies, or spider plant spiderets. This may not always occur, however, as only mature plants with enough stored energy will produce spiderets. Spiderets can be rooted in water or soil, but will generally yield more favorable results and a stronger root system when planted in soil. Sansevieria or snake plant, former genus of about 70 species of flowering plants in the asparagus family, now placed in the genus Dracaena based on phylogenetic data. The group is native primarily to tropical Africa. Many species have water-resistant leaf fibers that are sometimes used in the manufacture of ropes and for bowstrings, and several are grown as ornamentals for their attractive foliage. If you're looking for an easy-care houseplant, you can't do much better than snake plant. This hardy indoor is still popular today. Generations of gardeners have called it a favorite because of how adaptable it is to a wide range of growing conditions. Most snake plant varieties have stiff, upright, sword-like leaves that may be banded or edged in gray, silver, or gold. Snake plant's architectural nature makes it a natural choice for modern and contemporary interior designs. It's one of the best houseplants around. Grow snake plant in just about any room of your home. While it tolerates low light, snake plant grows fastest in bright conditions. As long as you water it now and again, it's tough to underwater this hardy houseplant. Water snake plant when the top inch or so of the soil dries. Take care not to overwater it, allow the top inch of the potting mix to dry in between waterings. Snake plant doesn't require much fertilizer, but will grow a little more if it is fertilized a couple of times during the spring and summer. You can use any fertilizer for houseplants. Follow the directions on the fertilizer packaging for tips on how much to use. Snake plant doesn't require pruning because it's such a slow grower. Japanese bamboo has long stretches of bare stem, punctuated at intervals by whorls of 2 to 5 short, leaf-shaped leaves. It does bear a superficial resemblance to a thin ornamental bamboo. The leaves are covered in yellow dots, which turn white with age, giving the plant its common name, the gold dust plant, or gold dust dracaena. Its leaves are a slender oval shape, up to about 20 centimeters in length and mostly medium to dark green, quite subtly spotted in yellowish green or chartreuse. Some leaves on the plant are usually unspotted. The leaf spots fade to a yellowish lemon as the leaves age. Punctulata puts out lots of bamboo-like canes, is very hardy, and accepts both heavy pruning and neglect. The plant produces clusters, 7 to 8 cm long, of whitish flowers that are sweetly scented in the late evenings. These are followed by small roundish berries in a brilliant reddish-orange that contrast sharply with the foliage color. Japanese bamboo will put up with moderate and direct light but would really prefer bright and direct, or even some filtered sun. Insufficient light will reduce the number and color contrast of the spots. D. Circulosa seems to prefer to be slightly wetter than other dracaenas, but they also need a good, well-draining soil mix that permits air to reach the roots. When these plants are grown in containers indoors or on patios and decks, an occasional shower is needed to remove dust from the foliage, and a trim along old stems will rejuvenate growth.